Hello, hello. It's Amy from Seriously Sweet and Cookie Snack Attack. How is everyone tonight? Listen, we are trying to get live on Instagram at the same time that we are live on Facebook. So if you'll give me just a second, we're going to keep our guest instructor on hold for just 1 second and try to go live. Can you head on over? I also have a guest host with me tonight. If Debbie, would you mind heading on over and going to my Instagram page, and let's see if we are live over there on Instagram. I think we are, but you go check, okay? All right. I think we're there, guys. So exciting. All right. All right. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Yes. Keep that turned down. Look, I think it's working. So I want to bring our guest on right away because we know we have a late start because this is our final. I can't believe it. It's so sad. This is our final tutorial for our Christmas celebration event. Lisel, how are you?
Hello. I'm happy to be here.
I didn't see that. That's so cute. I had my scarf on earlier, and you have your headwear. I love it.
I borrowed it from my daughter because she's always extra. So I figured in honor of your beautiful fascinators, I would try to do my own.
No, see, I think they really are more than headbands because the girls have put so much work in it. I think they are all fascinators. So it's been a really great event. Have you got to watch any of it?
I have. I really enjoyed it. I was watching Sam's last night.
Yes.
And that was wonderful.
I'm going to owe Sam something big because we just got a little crazy. We're just so comfortable with her, and we were tired, and we'd been moving my store all day, and we were like, okay, we're going to have some fun tonight. And then Sam just played right into it. So of course that was just, we just all rolled with it. Yeah. I am so happy that you came back and did Christmas as well. And I'm so excited about your piece. It's stunning. I can't wait to see what you're going to teach us.
Well, I'm excited to show you, and it's funny, you know. It's whenever I do one of these, I'm always like, oh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And then it'll just come to me. Like, I'll wake up or I'll dream about it, whatever. And this one, my dad used to do stained glass and have a little piece of his that kind of. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. So
oh, that's so awesome. Well, tell me when you're ready to go to the big camera.
Okay. All right, we will go to the big one here shortly.
Just because we're getting tired, I'm afraid we're gonna forget later. Can you tell everyone how to follow you? Let's get some more followers for you.
Sure. So I am mostly Instagram. I have a full-time day job that keeps me pretty busy. So I'm not an everyday poster. Sorry, I just can't. Also with 3 small children. So I do my best. Instagram, I'm sugar.rocks.cookies. And then on sugar.rocks.cookies.
Got it. I got you.
Period between the names. And then on Facebook, it's Sugar Rocks Cookies. So it makes it easy.
I got you. Now, are we next to any milestone numbers on any of these?
You know, I haven't checked lately.
Sugar Rocks Cookies, plural on both. Okay, I've got them both in the feed.
Awesome.
I'll put them up in the video, and everybody go give her a follow. They're all saying hello. They're glad to see you. We're so glad you could be with us again tonight. Like, I was very excited that everybody was so happy about Halloween and then so happy to come back and do the Christmas celebration. So thank you.
Yes, always happy to support learning. Because I love cookie. I just like sharing with everyone. And I think it's so nice. I mean, this is such a wonderful, positive forum. I love doing it here. So.
Well, what is your full-time hustle?
I'm actually a financial analyst.
Oh my gosh, you need cookies.
So yeah, I started life as a geologist. That's where my name Sugar Rocks comes from. But yeah, I do financial analysis, and so yeah, cookies is my
you need it. This one keeps her head buried in numbers all day too. I can tell when she's stressed. I was like, "Are you going to bake something today? You need to bake something today."
Well, yeah, it's been a little dicey at work, getting through quarterly planning and
Yes.
forecasting. So I needed this, honestly.
Wow.
This was such a heavy thing to do.
Oh, there we go. You're back.
Down in my basement. So yeah. So
well, I'm super excited to see this. You take it away, okay?
All righty. So if you haven't seen the picture, because slacker, very busy slacker, this is what we're doing. It's a little votive holder.
So cute.
And I made all the sides different because I wanted to show you all the things you could do with it. And it's got holes and stuff. So when you stick one of these little battery operated guys, it glows up. You can put just a regular votive in there, but all mine are scented like vanilla or something, and I didn't want to mess up my cookie. So
gotcha.
a little battery operated one.
And did you do chocolate dough or did you do gingerbread?
I did. This is
okay.
chocolate dough. You could totally use ginger. So normally I would have used gingerbread, but I went with what I had in the freezer. So this is my chocolate orange flavor. But I like it because it's nice and dark, and I think it really pops the very simple decoration nicely. So you don't have to do a lot of decorating if you use a colored dough.
Beautiful. Good, great pro
really nice. Yeah, pro tip for the busy holiday season: just color your dough and then just do simple white icing, less mixing, less all of that.
Okay.
Now this is, because it's a 3D piece, I like to keep my roll pretty thin. So this is a 1/8. I mean, you see, and it's about the size of a playing card here. So I just grabbed a rectangle cutter, and what you need for this, let me back up because I always start in the middle. So you just need 4 sides and then a base. So when you're picking your cutters, you just want to make sure that they're going to fit together nicely when you're done. So I just picked one of my squares and one of my rectangles that when I assemble it, it all fits together nicely. It just makes life easier. You could be all fancy and custom it, but I just worked with what I had because crunch time, busy mama. And you can do a whole variety. So I got all sorts of crazy. So I roll my dough 1/8 of an inch. That's whenever I do a 3D piece. My original intention was to back this with some ice malt. So what I wanted to do, and it's real easy, just make thin ice malt panels, the same size or slightly smaller than this, and then glue them onto it, and then assemble it. Because it'll give this some stability and some pretty colors behind it. But it works really well without it too. So you can go either way. It's not a big deal.
Beautiful.
And you see,
Darlene says she loves 3D projects. This is beautiful. April says hi.
Hey,
so you guys check in. Let us know who made it back to watch Lisel tonight. We want to make sure we know you're here.
Yes, let us know who you are. So cutting out the designs, and you see, I got all crazy. I did all sorts of things. I couldn't decide what I wanted. When you do this, it's nice. So this one had a lot of holes, so I didn't have to put a whole lot of icing on it, and that's great. That one had a giant hole, so I could put that, not a lot on the outer, so I could get real fancy on the edges.
Wow.
Not a lot of holes on this one, but I did a lot of icing work with it. So just a whole, and this one I kept super simple, and I think actually that might be my favorite panel. Of course, I've been handling it, so I'm not going to icing.
Right.
That's
Have you ever entered one of these at the Sugar Show?
What's
at CookieCon? Have you ever entered these at the Sugar Show at CookieCon?
So not one of these. I had I entered quite a few 3D pieces.
I think you should enter a set of 6 of these with all your panels different at the next Sugar Show.
Oh, that would be cool.
Is it 6 pieces or just 6 cookies?
6 cookies. So I could do one.
Man.
I know. I hate that restriction for the 3D. I wish they would just go ahead and make a 3D category.
Yes.
Though I will say the restriction really challenges me and forces me to think out of the box for creating my pieces. But yeah, it also limits what I can do.
We really need that. Is anyone watching? Karen, Mike, are you here?
Every single year on my survey, I put create a 3D category. So
Oh,
maybe if we try out enough for it, we'll finally get it.
So fun.
But for cutting these out, you don't need anything fancy. This is about as big as, you know, it'll depend on the size of panels you make. And of course, you can make this as big as small as you want to.
Wow.
But I had just a variety. I have some small cutters. I have let me show this. This is one of my favorite sets I have. This is R&M International, but it's kind of a make your own snowflake. So it's got these little tiny pieces that you can cut out, and that's what this came from, to make some of these shapes. But honestly, most of these are just like, this is just a piping tip, and then I hand cut the little petals. So nothing super fancy. Like I said, and really a lot of these are just circles, because I actually ended up, I like the crop circle look. Can I say? All right, so that's the detail. I don't see any questions so far on that part of it. It's pretty straightforward. You know, this is pick your own story, right? Make them how you want them. But just, it's important you have a non-spread dough. Rolling to 1/8 of an inch helps with that for 3Ds. You get less cracking and less spread, because they're just not going to puff a whole lot on you.
Was that R&M on those cutters?
Yeah, it's
R&M.
R&M International, and I just got them on Amazon. They have all sorts of different sets from that company, and they're metal cutters. Which, okay, I have a 3D printer, and I love being able to do all my shapes and stuff. But at the end of the day, you can't beat the cut on a metal cutter. You just can't.
No, and the ease of cleanup and popping it in the oven to dry it, so there's no discoloration. I love it. Exactly. I know what you're saying.
For these tiny details, it's just nice to have a sharp cut that doesn't get pushed off to the side. So I live on my Coke. Constantly. I might as well have an IV with that. So when we're doing this, we're going to, like I said, we're going to keep it fairly simple. It's very much a, like I said, I keep knocking the icing off of this one and putting it back on. It's very much a more of a old world European style. I think works really well on this. And like I said, it really pops nicely off that dark background. But really any color would do. You could do it with, see there, popping icing off. If you do it with a light dough, you're just going to want to give a wash to your cookie before you decorate it. So you could airbrush it with like a metallic, or you know, paint it on, whatever, but it's just something light. You could do a crackle effect and then use a dark pipe, whatever. But that's all the setup. So what I have here is a lettering consistency icing. So you see, if I pipe it out, it's not going anywhere. It's going to hold its shape. But it's loose enough to spread. So the way it's loose enough to pipe, right? So there's my little
stick. Got it.
When I mix that up, it has, Ashley Nelson explained it once at CookieCon really well. It has the sad captive Shamu fin.
The dorsal fin.
The most horrible way of describing it, but it sticks in my brain. And you know, once you get that little curl, that's what you want. The sad dorsal fin. And for this, I will admit, I prefer to use tips when I'm piping really small, but sometimes tipless, everybody uses them. Just cut it real tiny. So of the several things we could do. So let me see. Basic piping. I'm going to show you this sort of painting technique. And then, and you'll see a little bit of just painting on the insides of the circles works too. So I can do all that. So for the first one, we're just gonna put some.
Both of your cameras are doing very well.
What's that?
Both of your cameras are doing very well. Everything's very clear.
Good. I'm just going to add a little water to that, and you could just put it on your brush too.
Did you get to watch any of the gingerbread tutorial before yours tonight?
I saw a little of it, but I need to go back and watch it because I wanted to catch that. There's several of them I need to go back and watch.
You love the 3D pieces, and she did a lot of structural gingerbread 3D bakings, like custom baking.
Oh, nice.
So you definitely have to catch that.
Yeah, that ties in great with this too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I've made, you see it, just a thinned out brushable icing, and you just brush it on the inside there. Nothing fancy. And it just helps pop those circles. It's just
Barbara's very excited. She's been watching 2 nights in a row. Allison says hello. Tony said thank you for that info on the snowflake cutters.
Ah, yes. All right, so that's how you do the painting, and it doesn't show that much here, but you saw it's just a little bit of dimension. Now, when you're doing this panel in particular is nice because it gives it a lot of space for the piping, and this is a good time to practice all your piping work. So I'm just gonna now on this one, so what I'm gonna do that flooding technique on this. But when I do that, so the first thing you're going to do is outline your holes.
Would you say that's cut to about a number 1 opening or a number 2?
Less than that.
Okay.
Well, this might be like a 1 because I cut it a little bigger than I want. I generally will try to cut it as small as I can cut it to get icing out of it.
Okay.
And then I can always make it bigger. And this is a little thicker than I would prefer, but you know, rushing on before we started. And I actually, you know, it's funny. I even like created this bag before I got on because the other bag I had ready, I was like, oh, I got it too big and I hate it. So this is why I actually prefer to just use my PME tips because I know exactly what they are. So I would use probably a PME one, which is a tiny one.
Yeah, I would think for this level of detail, it would be more uniform, right? I don't usually use tips, but I could see for this, I would want to try it with a tip. And Janie said, hello again, everyone. Thank goodness for replay. Just able to get back on.
Nice. Well, we're glad we could make it on. All right. So
we're happy everyone's here. Look at that. Look at all the pop on that.
Yeah, it's really nice how it'll just like pop up like that. So what I'm going to do on these, so I'm going to do an outer pipe on them.
That's just beautiful.
So whenever I'm on camera, I'm like super shaky. So sorry.
No, we
don't judge my piping skills by the live.
Do you feel shaky? Because we can't tell. Hey, Lavelle, thanks for joining.
My hands always feel shaky. Well, because you know, I'm like talking and I'm moving and I'm
Look at that.
And I'm trying to go not too slow. So. But you see, I mean, I love this because none of this is hard. A beginner can do this. I mean, you gotta practice your piping, but honestly, when it's all together, it looks fine.
What is it actually called? What's the name of these? Is it a light box?
It's called a votive.
Votive. It's a votive.
Called, but it holds the votive candles, so that's what I call it.
She did hers on chocolate dough because that's what she already had made. But she said earlier in the video, Janie, because you just popped back on, just to summarize it, you could absolutely do it in gingerbread, or you could just dye your dough. But the main point would be to do a little bit darker dough and do the white icing so that you get a really good pop. And look, I mean, it's amazing looking.
And I will say, if you are using dough, so my regular sugar cookie dough works great for this. I do over bake it when I'm doing a 3D piece. But
Mm-hmm.
mine is also a crisp cookie anyways, because I do not like the loft style softness. It's a
Mm-hmm.
texture thing for me. So my cookie is crispy anyway, and not
Mm-hmm.
hard. Just it's a proper British biscuit, not a soft gooey cookie. So if your recipe tends to be on the fairly soft, thick side, you probably would want to stick with your gingerbread.
Oh, and Camille's a good point. She's saying, is it a luminary?
Luminary. It is like a luminary.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, and
Yes.
Janie, she did say you could use your regular sugar cookie dough, but you'd want to give it a wash.
Yes. Yeah, just like you could airbrush on some color. You could use Tunde. I can't remember Tunde. I can't pronounce her last name, but Tunde, everybody's favorite Hungarian cookier. She uses the true colors, and I have all those. But they're great because they are all natural, but their metallics are phenomenal for airbrushing.
I love the blue. We've used it at 2 of my retreats so far. I just love it. Jen Mosier turned me on to it.
Yeah, I love it. I took a class from Tunde once upon a time, and she turned me on to it, and it's wonderful. I mean, you can also do a traditional egg wash where you basically take egg yolk and some dye, mix it up, and brush it on your warm cookie. You just have to do that right when they come out of the oven. You can pop them back into the oven real quick, but you're probably not going to eat these anyway, so who cares?
Right.
And you see, I'm just using that thin icing and going in and touching it in, and it'll spread itself out. But this is just that sort of lace technique. And
it's beautiful.
Tunde's a master at this, and she can, she does amazing work. All the beautiful lace patterns she does. But I wanted you to see, like, you don't have to do the fancy lace. You could do something really simple, and it still looks really cute.
Wow.
And I'll just go through and kind of dab it in, and you see it kind of fills itself in. And I like the dimension. You want it thin because you want it to kind of stick to those edges but fall down in the middle, so you get that sort of hollowed out look there. And if a spot like back here it's a little thin, you can always go back and put a little more if you want, or keep it thin. So I'm just going to get all this.
Dennis, welcome. We're glad you're here. Mimi, we're glad you're here. Hi, Eunice. There is a name I cannot pronounce, but I see you. I'm glad you're here. Hi, Robin. Hi, Leanne. How is everyone tonight? Do we have any international viewers tonight? Let us know what country you're watching from over in the comments.
Oh, that would be exciting.
Earlier, we had Japan was represented, but I don't know if any of our Australian buddies are here or not. We have a lot of Australian, but I don't know.
There are a lot of Australian cookiers.
Yes.
It's
don't
awesome.
You think we should go there and have a cookie retreat?
I think that would be amazing. That sounds like a perfect place to have a cookie retreat. Okay, so just didn't have quite enough of that icing, so I'm just see it's still.
And she's mixing with water, by the way.
Yeah,
wait, Barbara said Tennessee is practically a whole separate world, right?
Oh, no kidding. We had a lot of us represented because Samantha's Tennessee, Sue's Tennessee.
You guys are so funny. I didn't say it. You all did.
The state. Barb and I are East Tennesseers.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, they're in a whole different time zone. It's a completely different world over there.
Yeah, Barbara's in Knoxville.
Yeah, she's just down the road from me.
That's awesome. I hope you guys make cookie connections and hang out together. Do you see each other at all?
I met her. She took one of my first class at CookieCon. Oh gosh, I can't remember where I was. But anyway, she took my first class at CookieCon, and I realized she was a Knoxville, and that was when I had just moved to Knoxville. So it's kind of cool.
Well,
all right,
really
so that is all filled in. We've got our beautiful lace now, and that as it dries, it'll get a little more transparent looking even.
Okay.
So that's a start. And honestly, this is just like totally just make it up as you go. I love doing lines and flourishes. So a lot of times those dots are always a great accent. But you just want to,
Like
negative
I just keep
space.
stretching my neck to get in here to see what you're doing. Can you see us? Debbie and I are both like, "Ooh, look at that!"
But
we need a bigger. Hey, thanks for the stars, Belle. We appreciate you.
I have to fight my desire. Oops, as I move that out of. I have to fight my desire to over decorate on these because it really is important to leave that negative space.
Okay.
It really is going to make the details pop. So now I'm just doing little. I squeeze and then just pull, and that's a fun one. Like
if you make this, tag Cookie Snack Attack, tag Seriously Sweet, and tag Sugar Rocks Cookies. We want to see your pieces.
Yes, I love seeing people make the pieces. I get so excited when people go and do it themselves.
I know, isn't it fun? And in fact, I'll throw down a little challenge. Why don't you guys use your 4 sides as a way to tell your Christmas story?
That would be wonderful.
Make it
actually, this same technique would make really great Christmas ornaments too. Just as a single panel, cut like a circle or something, and just do a single panel.
Yes. Barbara says over-decoritis is a real disorder. Does our insurance cover therapy for that? So funny. Look how
that's
beautiful.
The little flourishes. And I'm like, that looks a little weird. So I'm just going to do a few dots. Because see, I'm just doing the over decorate thing.
Oh, no, that's perfect. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you want to fill the space without overfilling the space.
Hi, Maritza. How are you tonight? Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate y'all watching. I can't believe this is our last night. I can't believe you're our last instructor of the whole event.
I know, it's crazy. It's gone by in a flash.
I know. It's like we're going to go through next week, and then Monday's going to be Christmas the week after.
I know.
Right? It's Monday, didn't you?
That's why I haven't been able to watch as many as I want. Although I did catch a little Timbo's while I was having lunch or something.
He's so funny.
While doing some financial reports, I was at Timbo over in the corner.
Well, so when he said because he had to change the schedule that he was going to do a mini class for us, I was like, yes, all right, I'm there. Let's do it.
He's awesome. He's so nice. And I love that he too just uses like the simplest things, you don't need anything fancy.
He's so fun.
So there's a panel. You saw that didn't take all that much work and it's done.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. This is my X-Files crop circle panel. I love.
Okay, so when you were tilting your luminary around earlier, I think that might have been my favorite side.
This one.
I really like that. Yeah, it's just really beautiful. There's so much motion.
Yeah, it's that's what I like about it. A little swirly.
Hey, Sally.
A little swirly. Like I said, it's a crop circle. And it's okay.
Barbara said we saved the best for last. Jamie said this event went fast. She's enjoyed everything. Thanks for all the work put into this. Also, all the guest instructors. Thank you to every one of you guys.
Well, and don't forget, thank you, Amy, for putting this all together.
It's really fun. This one just got big really quick. I was not expecting that. But, I'm happy to do it because it's brought so much to the table for the cookiers in our group. And with replays being available, I feel like, the next 2 weeks when we have a moment, we can just catch them.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not going to fill all of these. I just want you guys to see how I'm just going around, just taking that thinned icing and just painting the inside of the circles.
I love it.
It just gives a little dimension and pop, because if you tried to outline all these circles, it would get cluttered. It'd be too much. So you want to keep it. You need a little something to define them. So
Wow.
this is just that little, and you see how quick it goes. It doesn't,
Oh
it
yeah.
takes no skill at all. It's just an easy paint by hole there. All right.
Hey,
So
Kathy, thank you for joining us.
that's just a few to demo. And then I tell you what, dots can make or break a cookie. Truly.
Okay.
Like if ever I have a cookie and I'm like, oh, I just need a little something, dots. Always dots.
Okay.
So, and you don't even have to be fancy about them, but and see this one, like on here, I used a slightly bigger hole in the center. This one's got a slightly smaller hole. It's whatever you want to do. There's no rhyme or reason to this. It's just a wonderful chance to sit down and create whatever makes your heart happy that day. And
you guys, I totally forgot to announce it in the last one. I don't know if everyone's here, but tonight is your last night to join my yearly celebrations group where you get a minimum of 2 cookie tutorials a month. It's on special for $110. I'm probably gonna have to leave it up. I'll leave it up all day Sunday too, because I totally forgot to tell the last group of people. So we'll make it through Sunday night, just so nobody gets upset with me.
I still have to get through my gnomes and flowers. I haven't even had a chance to do any of them yet.
Wait until you see Donna's demo that she did, and she told us how to make the gnome gingerbread house.
Oh, nice.
I was like, that's mine. I'm making that. Oh, look at that. See, doesn't it just look like you're ready to spin it? Mm-hmm.
It's like, it reminds me of like a star or something. It's just so cool.
Yeah. Hi, Ashley. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're glad you're here. Janie says she likes the circle one. Are these cutters to make the design, or do you use a straw? She used her icing tips to cut out the circle.
Tips.
Yes. What did I say? It's late. I'm sorry. I don't even know what I said. No, but she used her piping tips.
Yeah. I mean, you just use what you have on hand. Like, I'm not a big fan of like having to hand cut stuff. So I was like, I literally just kind of rummaged around and said, what can I do to make some pretty cutouts? Because the idea is you're just kind of making some cutouts so that the light will come through. We used to have a neighborhood growing up that would put luminaries out on the sidewalks, and some of them would do cutouts in the luminaries, and they were always so pretty. So this is
Janie's laughing because she watched most of the gnome and floral videos. She just didn't make them yet. It's on her to-do list.
All right, so that's it. And then I was like, it needs a little something on the edges. Because again, the negative space is important, but you need a little something. So again, like on this one, those little corners, you just do that the push and pull. So you just do a quick little push and then pull it. And it makes the best little corners. So easy. And then a little dot. And you could totally, if you wanted to do sprinkles for the dots, I have some cute like sugar pearls that would make nice sprinkles or whatever. I mean, how can you not sprinkle all the things? But
I'm saying, or does she have glitter? Do you have diamond dust? We can have the trifecta.
Of course.
Tony said she's going to have withdrawal symptoms the next couple of weeks with no videos to watch. That's when you just go back and rewatch these videos and start planning for Valentine's Day.
Exactly.
Oh, this would be cute with like floating hearts.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm doing all the hand signals, but what I mean is create motion on the cookie with hearts flying in the air, or like hearts that look like they're balloons, like tied down to one corner. That'd be so cute. She's laughing.
Do like
Tony, I said she because it's spelled Toni, but is it Tony or is it Tony a she? Because I keep saying she. It's right with an I. It's a female, right?
Usually.
You know, I'm so bad at this stuff.
You never know. So again, see how quick that was?
Look at that, and it looks like it's spinning.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, Camille said it's stunning, but it does. You've got a lot of motion on that cookie. And you know that first panel, that looks like Battenberg lace.
Yes.
Did I say that right? She said, yes, I'm a girl. Okay. So I'll keep saying she if that's okay. I don't want to call anybody the wrong thing. Apparently, I've been mispronouncing Liesel's name wrong for a bit and a while. So remember, Lisel Diesel, Lisel Diesel, Lisel
That's
Diesel,
right.
okay? You guys,
As long
and
as you don't call me Lisa.
How did you say, what'd you say?
I said, as long as you don't call me Lisa, which is a perfectly fine name. It's just not mine.
I know, but I always do that, like Lisel. I thought it was Lisel Powell, but it's
Well,
Lisel.
you know, it's funny because my full name, so I'm very Austrian and I'm named my grandmother. And the full name is Lieselotte.
What?
It's very old world. It's Lieselotte, which
Oh
is
my God.
Elizabeth Charlotte.
Wow.
In German. But yeah, I don't ever use it because it's a mouthful, right? And even apparently my grandma was like, why would you call her that? Nobody uses that name. And I even met a German guy at work who's like, nobody has that name anymore. I'm like, well, yeah,
I do.
But it's because
we have another update. Look, if you donate over on the coffee shop site, it tells you, it says new donation from Barbara Reed. Thank you so much, Barbara. Thank you so much. That's so cool. They keep making all these awesome improvements. All right, so we're getting closer to our goal. We got to upgrade some of this equipment now that we have gaming speed internet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
We got to get better and better each time. Holly said, I'm going to miss this. I feel like I have company every evening. Thanks so much for doing this. You know what? I think that's really what I'm going to miss about it too. I'll miss all of the new things that I learned, but I'm going to miss hanging out with everybody because I feel like you're in my living room with me every night.
It's been free therapy.
I know. Hey, if I saved you on your therapy bill this week, just head over to the coffee shop and drop a little tip in there so we can get on with the new computer system. If I saved you any money this week, but I'm not paying if I enabled you. Just saying. And I might have. We had some new stuff on here. Look at that one. That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. And see, I was about to like undo that, but I'm just going to leave it. It's fine. I think I would, you know what? No. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Oh, the movie stick coming.
What I know. What are we doing? Are you going to paint in there?
No, I'm just going to put dots because these are very tight.
Oh.
And see, it's easy to just fix it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wait, Holly said I already did. Thanks, Doc. You're welcome. You're very welcome. I don't know if you got to watch did you say you did or didn't get to watch last night with Samantha?
I did. And
Samantha's probably never going to come on again because we were just absolutely nonstop cutting up, right?
She rolls with stuff, though. She is so easygoing.
I meant to message her tonight to see if she survived everything she had to finish last night, because even after doing the demo for us, she was feeding family.
Yeah.
Okay. She had her kids and her husband feeding everybody. Then she had to bake some cookies. And then she had something else that was going on today. And she's a basketball coach. I was like, okay, oh my gosh. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's
as
so
busy as
like
I am, she astounds me with as much as she does.
That's amazing. Look at that. It's like a shooting star or a Christmas tree topper. It's very beautiful.
Yeah. And this is one, so I just want you, so you just build and you kind of go. This is one that would actually lend itself well to that lace technique as well. And to do that, I would just kind of outline, so put those dots. Oops, got a little crazy with that one. That's okay. I put those dots, work as a guide. And I wouldn't maybe do all of them, but I've got those little, I've got pretty small circles there. So I'm just going to do something like that. And I'm going to put a dot in the middle there, just as a, what do I want to say? Like a placeholder, an anchor point is what I'm looking for.
Okay. Barbara said very celestial, so elegant. That's right. It does.
You.
Hey, for all my East Coast people, I'm so sorry that you got a text tonight after 8 p.m., but this is the latest. This is the latest start we've had is an 8:30, and I didn't want you guys to miss it because it is our last instructor of the event. So normally we do not send texts after 8 p.m., but there's no way to separate my East Coasties from my West Coasties, so we had to roll with it tonight. So please forgive me.
It's a Saturday night. Get a little wild with the cookies, you know?
I know. We're the wild cookie ladies.
Oh, this is a wild Saturday night for me anymore. It doesn't take much. I was teasing my husband earlier. I was like, we really need to go shopping for our lights. He's like, we'll have to get a babysitter. I don't want to drag the kids. He's like, what a wild and crazy date night. I'm like, you know what? Shopping for lighting would be like wonderful. That would make me
feel great, and then it's done. Don't you feel like you just want it off the list?
Yeah, we're about to redo our whole kitchen and master bath. So,
oh my goodness,
I just want to.
Why don't you just pick the most expensive rooms in the house?
We did, yeah. And we're gonna spend more on that reno than I paid for my first house. It's awful, but it needs to be done.
Oh, Tony's in Australia. So see, we do have some people from other countries with us tonight. And it's Sunday lunchtime. Sunday at lunchtime.
Okay, that's not too bad. So that's, you can do that. I'm going to do just a little, I'll show you the corners. So the only thing I think I didn't show so far, these little fancy corners, is you see, it looks like a lot, but there's not that much there. It's just, it's just building up. So we're gonna just hide
love it. Jamie said, I just need to do the main bathroom too. Did your kitchen last year. Yeah. So we did our kitchen and then we moved. So we're starting over. Whoa! Yay.
Well, you know, that's what we usually end up doing. We end up finally getting around to renovations in time to sell. And this time I'm like, no, I want it for me. Like,
yeah, and I want to stay put. This moving is for the birds, and I don't mean us.
Yeah.
Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Just see how she stacked those dots?
See how simple that is? It's a dot, a line, some dots, a line. And then I'm just going to do a little scallop on that.
Hey, Cuddy Brown and Marjorie Wasner, we are so glad you are here tonight. Thank you for joining us. Hey, for everyone that donated to support the live streaming for this month to get this event taken care of, I appreciate you guys so much. It really helped out. If you wanted to make a tip, just leave a little tip for the admin over on the coffee shop site. You can. But remember, tonight was supposed to be the last night to join the yearly group, which is what I would rather you do is just use your money and buy a class and be with us all year. So that's on my website at seriouslysweetcupcakes.com. And it's celebration theme this year, you guys. So we're going to do all kinds of fun stuff and really jump into 2024 happy. And I'd love for you guys to join in on that. I'll leave it all the way up through Sunday night at the discounted price. Did you see that?
Did you see? Yeah, that was just a real quick. So just an idea, because I don't want us to go past.
Well, you're doing great. You're doing great.
But there, all these three little panels demonstrated all the techniques that were in the
original. Well, show them the snowflake one more time. Let them just see that on the camera so it's part of the video. The snowflake one.
That one.
Look at that. So guys, think about that like for Valentine's Day and to do it with hearts.
Yeah, and look how simple. All I did, that's just one cutout. That's one mini cutter cutout outlined. A little piping around it. Super simple, super fast. So yeah, that'd be super cute for Valentine's. It'd be really cute with some a panel of red isomalt behind it, and you'd want to do it real thin. And it just would be really elegant and pretty.
You pour it out on a silicone mat and then you put it behind it. You don't just like set it in it and pick it up.
So you can do it both ways. You can just pour it in. The reason I wanted to do panels was just for a little structural stability.
Okay, and then that
Um,
kept it lower profile, right? Because it's in the very background.
Yeah, and I would pour it real thin. And actually what I would do is I would take some foil, put my panel into foil to shape it. So I just make my own little mold.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's how I did my cookie con panels of my turtles. But I just made a mold out of foil, and then
That's
you
a
can pour it.
really well. Do you
And
have time to take a couple of questions if they have any questions?
absolutely.
All
I
right,
will
and can you
build.
see them? Can you see them if they pop up? Oh, wait, here we go.
Yes.
Barbara says it's kind of a combo of Zentangle and how do you say that? Mendai?
Mendy.
Mindy.
Mendy? I don't know.
Okay. So hit her up with some questions. I'll put them up on the screen while she's putting that together. Etta, thank you for joining us. Thank all of you guys for being here. This was a spectacular event.
And I put that on pretty thick. Oh no, I broke that one. Oops. Don't
don't touch that.
They are delicate. So you can do them thicker. You just have to be conscious of how big your base is if you do that. So, and the way I do this, like I would do this, and then I usually have, oh, here it is. Hold on. It's going to be slow, but this is the process. So I just kind of do some sprinkles on either side.
Oh, Barbara said it's Mindy, Indian henna tattoo. Thank you for that. Thank you. Mindy, Zentangle and Mindy. Oh, I see. So that you can just set it.
Yeah, and this icing is thick enough. It doesn't take long for it to get hard enough for me to move to the next panel.
This is a good question because I don't think we said what are the sizes of the panels.
Oh, sure, and I don't know because I just grabbed grabbed whatever rectangles made me happy. This particular one is 3.
Hello, that's super cute ruler.
Isn't that Cookie Con flag?
Yes.
I love it. That's 3 3/4 by 2.5.
Okay.
And then the square in the middle, I have a spare, was about a 2 1/4 square.
Okay, about 2 1/4. All right,
you can do a 2. Yeah, it's about right. It's if I turn this one over, you can see how they fit, and there's some gaps. And once I get these all on there, and once I get them all on there, I kind of spackle the corner.
I gotcha.
One thing, if I had time this week, my mixer also broke Wednesday, so it's been quite the week. It's fixable. My husband's going to replace the gear. It's fine. But I was just like, of all the times for this to happen. But when you spackle it, take, I had them sitting here, and now I don't. Take the little sugar pearls. I would take the sugar pearls.
And do beads down the side.
Put the beads along the side.
Oh, that'd be beautiful too, wouldn't it?
A nice finish for it. Okay. You could also pipe a beaded border, which I can show you here. So when I do this, I don't know if you noticed, but I put it on one of these mats, $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. But that way I can move it out of the way and work a panel, and I can do other stuff.
I gotcha.
It's easy to move the whole thing. But so I would, and see, it's already standing on its own. It doesn't take long.
Yeah, that
so when I add the next one, I do just kind of work. It gets a little harder, but I do put a pretty decent, and it's kind of sloppy, and it doesn't matter. I try to put a decent amount of icing on there, just so it'll kind of suction to each other.
Okay.
And see, I'm not really icing necessarily until I see how it's fitting. So then I'll go and put a little bit of icing in there, but and that's that. And then just set those there for this one to set. And then I'm going to move that out of the way so I can show. But that's, you would just work your way around, and like you saw how quick that dried. It doesn't take long to be sturdy enough to add the next panel. But if you wanted to do a beaded edge, I'm just going to cradle this. This is more like a number 2 that I have in this particular one. But it's that same technique I used. You just pipe and pull, and then kind of go back.
See if they need me. Oh, that's beautiful.
Push and pull. And I'm shaky and all that, but this is a really simple.
That's a beautiful edging.
And isn't that easy? It just makes it look a little cleaner, a little nicer.
Yeah,
and that doesn't take much. But you can also just do it the lazy way and use that. Although it's not so lazy, because catching those darn little sugar pearls is difficult.
Yeah, that would be a lot. That would be a lot to do. Well, let me bring you back on the big screen. I don't see any questions. Is there any other tips that you want to share with them?
Just trying to remember. Always overbake. You don't want soft 3Ds.
And you said those were 1/8 of an inch deep?
They are. They're 1/8 of an inch. So I just use like a painter's stick, a paint stick.
Okay. Absolutely.
Is the right thickness.
Okay. Paint paddle.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. But you see that you can. I just use that as my guides.
Okay.
Yeah, just one of those on each side of the dough when I'm rolling. Like I said, you can do these 1/4 inch, but then you risk cracking and spread, and they're not going to fit. You'll need a bigger square. Okay. You know, just the way I did it is I took my. Excuse me while I run over my sink here. I just went through because I have like a gazillion. I literally have like 1,800 colors. It's ridiculous. But I just went into my shapes box and I found the square that was slightly smaller than my rectangle, which you totally can't see. Slightly smaller than the rectangle.
Okay. Wonderful.
So it doesn't matter what size you make them. I just thought this was a nice size. And then like I said, I got the little battery operated guys here. You can just drop it in.
Oh,
just drop that in and it glows.
Look, it's so beautiful.
Isn't that cool? So
this is a great project. I love it.
Thank you. And I do think the isomalt panels would help that glow even better. But sorry, mom life. Mom life got in the way.
Then we only had so much time, so that's all good to go. All right. Well, let's see. I can't believe we're our last guest instructor. So they're going to have to just deal with me for the next couple Tuesdays. What will they do?
Although I always love your Tuesdays. So
I hope I keep you guys entertained. Well, listen, we had so much fun, and this was so much fun tonight. And the thank yous are rolling in. Janie says thank you. Kathy says thank you. Debbie and I say thank you. This was fabulous. I can't wait to make one of these.
Well, and thank you all for watching. Thank you for having me. I was so honored to get to do this. It's very exciting.
Oh, well, I hope you'll consider being involved in the Easter one. Just start planning something really fun. We're definitely going to do an Easter one.
Okay, cool. I love
Easter. Guys, I'm trying to stall to give you some time to ask questions. Janie says thank you. Barbara says thanks so much. If anyone has any questions, you have like the next 10 seconds to get them in there. Charlotte says, thank you. Awesome. This has been wonderful.
Nice. Yay. I recognize Charlotte from the Goo You.
Yes. And she is, whenever I say, Char, are you on the train? It's her. She's on her way home from work. Allison says, thanks. This was great.
Awesome.
All right. Well, guys, we're so glad you enjoyed it. Don't forget, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pop up on the big screen for just a second, okay? Don't forget, I'm gonna leave it up through. Look at Grinchy over here. I'm gonna leave it up through tomorrow night's Sunday night. You can get my year-long class group. That was my special for this event. that it would stay at 110 instead of going up to 150. So I'm going to leave it at 110. We need like, what did I say? Was it 5? We need 5 more people to join to hit that magic number where I give you something else free. So if you're on the fence about joining, or if you're waiting to join, let me know so we know we can pop the extra free thing in there for you, because we needed a certain number to justify adding the other thing that I wanted to add. Okay. Now let me move you back over here. Barbara said, let's get together soon.
Yes,
I think
we
you
need
guys
to.
should. Do you have time to have like a Christmas lunch or something, or do we need to have January?
Yeah, it'll probably be January, but or next week, just after Christmas, once
That
in-laws are gone and all that craziness is gone. But yeah, we definitely need to get together for lunch.
Well, hang out with us for a minute. We're going to tell everybody else goodbye and end the live stream, and we will see all of you soon. And if you'll hang for just a second, when we do this, I also have to go turn it off on Instagram. So don't go anywhere yet. All right. Bye, guys. Have a great night. Merry Christmas. Watch the replays.